Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hello and welcome to Core Finance. Today we are joined by the Executive Chairman of Hydrogen Utopia, Guy Peters. Guy, thank you very much for joining us today.
That's okay, that's fine.
Can you start by giving us an overview of Hydrogen Utopia and what it is that you do?
Absolutely. We're pioneering technology which actually turns waste plastic into hydrogen. We're using some technology which we've licensed from Powerhouse Energy, a name-quoted company, and we're actually enhancing that to ensure that we're addressing basically the environmental threat posed by waste plastic, and we're producing fuel in the form of hydrogen and or in the form of syngas to produce electricity, for example, or other gases which doesn't utilise the virgin carbon fuel resources of the planet, such as oil, natural gas, and carbon fuel derived electricity. So we think we're doing our bit to save the planet.
Thank you, Guy. Can you tell us a little bit more about the technology involved in doing that conversion?
Okay, the technology is proven scientific technology. It's basically using a type of technology called pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is basically a method of heating substances without using oxygen. And you basically take your waste plastic, you heat it to very high temperatures, you add steam to it, and from that process you can extract hydrogen and a type of synthetic gas, which is effectively like natural gas.
Very interesting and of course great for the planet.
Absolutely, yeah, fantastic for the planet.
Now, can you give us a bit more detail on the team that you have in place at Hydrogen Utopia?
Okay, we have a great team. We have the founder, Alexandra Binkowska, who is a Polish national. She's very young, very dynamic, very well connected in Poland, and has basically taken the company in the last 16 months from nothing to a business where we were able to float it on the AQSE market, where we've actually got significant interest from a whole series of potential project partners in countries across Europe, and where we have a very exciting pipeline, and also where we have a huge support of some very, very large companies, such as Linde, the world's largest gas engineering group, Sweco, which is an architectural and engineering consultancy across the whole of Europe, and also we have a Dutch specialist thermal engineering business called Electron, which is producing for us what we call our chemical conversion chamber, which is the pyrolysis reactor, which actually basically takes the waste plastic and turns it into gas.
Lots of great partnerships there.
Absolutely fantastic. Sorry, and I haven't mentioned the others. We have Keith Riley, who is an engineer. He was originally a nuclear engineer. He was involved in Veolia for years and years. He was responsible for creating some of the first waste management partnerships and projects across the UK, and he's developed some huge energy to waste plants. So we've got a fantastic engineering background with him. Then we have a young accountant we've just recruited to do the finance, and we'll obviously called Alex Groves, and we have two great non-exec directors. Both of whom have financial markets experience, one in the European continent, that's Paul Formanco, and one Steve Medlicott, who was actually an engineering analyst when I first knew him many years ago, and is actually himself the CEO of a tech business in Oxford.
Great team that you have in place there.
Absolutely.
Final question, Guy. What's coming up for Hydrogen Utopia in 2022?
Well, I think 2022 could produce an awful lot of news. For example, in Poland, we've actually applied for a 19.4 million euro grant for one of our first projects in Konin. We're hoping that we'll hear about that before the end of January. We have announced a series of letters of intent with various cities across Poland, in Greece, in Bulgaria. We're looking and we are talking to a number of potential site owners or site partners or suppliers, and the whole mix is quite complex. But we're talking to a lot of people across continental Europe and also out of continental Europe. The only place where we can't actually roll out plants is in the UK. Otherwise, we're looking across the world. And hopefully we'll have some very exciting news about all of those things in the next 12 months.
Thank you, Guy. Well, we look forward to hearing about it. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.